Hey everyone, and welcome back to Where Wendy Travels. Today we're talking about trimming trees and also something a bit more serious, cutting down very tall dead trees. We'll chat about the dangers, the stats, why trees die, even when they look healthy, how to spot the warning signs, and of course, some fun nature facts because I absolutely love trees, and I bet you do too. And so grab your cup of coffee or your water bottle and let's dive in. First of all, I want to thank Gibson for doing the work. And I want to share some facts with you. Working with trees, especially large ones, is one of the most dangerous jobs in America. Whether you're trimming live branches or cutting down a towering dead tree, it's not just grabbing a saw and going to town. Tree work ranks among the top 10 most dangerous professions. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the fatal injury rate for tree workers is around 70 to 100 deaths per 100,000 workers each year. In comparison, the fatal injury rate for all jobs in the U.S. is about 3.6 per 100,000. Again, 70 to 100 per 100,000 for working with the trees. Why so dangerous? Well, let's talk about it. There are a few big reasons tree work can go wrong: height and falling. Working 20, 40, or even 100 feet in the air is dangerous itself. One slip and you can fall. And the weight of the wood. A single tree limb might weigh several hundred pounds. Yes, my friends, several hundred pounds. If it swings unexpectedly, it can crush you. And trust me, I was walking through the forest a couple of years back, and I put my hand on the wrong tree and leaned, and some of the deadfall fell out of the tree, hit me just above the eye, slit my forehead open and my eyelash open. So again, danger, danger, trees are heavy. So chainsaws, ropes, and wood chippers can also be lethal if not handled properly. Dead wood is unpredictable. Dead trees become brittle. They snap, splinter, or fall into unexpected directions. Trees can also look solid on the outside, but be hollow inside, like a shell. Climbing or cutting into that can cause a sudden collapse. In short, tree work is not your average DIY job. Don't tempt it. Let's talk about one of homeowners' worst nightmares: a tree falling on your house. Some statistics first. Each year in the U.S., falling trees or large branches cause hundreds of millions of dollars in property damage. State Farm estimates that more than $1 billion in insurance claims happen every year due to trees falling on homes, cars, and property. About 100 people die in the United States annually just from trees falling. Sometimes during storms, sometimes on sunny days, when a tree simply gives way. And the scariest part, sometimes a tree looks perfectly healthy until the day it falls. Let's talk about why that happens. So, how does it happen? How does a beautiful tree suddenly die? Or look fine, but have dying roots? Here are the biggest reasons trees die, sometimes secretly. Roots are the lifeline of any tree, and roots can start dying even if the tree canopy still looks healthy. Why? Well, soil compaction, heavy machinery, cars, or even foot traffic compact the soil, suffocating the roots. Maybe a new driveway, maybe a new platform near your house that some of the roots are under. Changes in grade, adding soil over the roots, like during landscaping, cuts off oxygen. Trenching for utilities or building driveways often slices roots invisibly underground. Roots can drown if water sits around them too long, leading to rot. In colder climates, salt used for de-icing roads can seep into soil and poison roots. Sometimes the canopy stays green for a reason or two, while the roots die silently underground, but eventually you'll see signs above ground. Look at that tree fall. Look at, ooh, crash. Ooh. I'm shivering. I'm actually shivering watching that fall. Well, another huge killer of trees are pests and diseases. Emerald ash borer has wiped out millions of ash trees in the United States and Canada. Dutch elm disease destroyed nearly all American elms in urban areas. Oak wilt, sudden oak death, and pine beetles. The list goes on. These pests often start the damage inside the tree where you can't see it. By the time leaves brown or branches die back, it might be too late. And of course, trees do have a lifespan just like us. Some species, like birch, might only live 40 to 60 years. Others, like oaks, can live several hundred years. Some pines and redwoods live thousands of years. And hit that subscribe button because I've got a trip. We're going out and seeing the redwood this year, so I will be bringing you lots of videos and footage from those beautiful, beautiful trees later this year. And a tree reaching the end of its natural lifespan will often show thinning canopies, dead limbs, or fungus around the base. These trees that you see us cutting down today, well, we did put in a driveway many, many years back. So if you look at that root ball right there, those roots just died around it, and probably the ones in the driveway first, and then the other ones, and well, I don't know. It was such a beautiful love tree. But let's talk about signs that your tree might not be healthy. Keep an eye out for these red flags, mushrooms or fungus around the base. That could indicate internal rot. Cracks in the trunk, deep splits mean the tree might break. Dead branches in the crown, well, these are the widowmakers, one of which came down on hit me. Luckily, it was a very small, very old tree. So, and arborists do call them widowmakers. They can fall at any time. And then leaning trees. Why, oh, why is it leaning? Leaning doesn't always mean a problem. Might be just growing towards the sun. But if the lean suddenly appears, it could be very serious. Unseasonal leaf drop or browning. Leaf dropping early could mean root trouble. Cavities or holes in the trunk. Now, we love when our animals make these holes in the trunk. But small holes might signal insects are boring in. Oh boy, bark is falling off. And I'm not talking about those scratch signs by the bears, but bark falling off is a bad sign, especially for large areas on the tree. If you spot these, call a certified arborist, especially if they're near your house. Don't assume it's safe to handle yourself. And don't assume you know what it is for sure if you don't. An arborist can let you know. They'll give you a free quote. I tell you, Gibson's was and is absolutely incredible for this entire neighborhood up here. They're wonderful. So here's a key point. Not all tree issues mean you have to remove a tree. That's great news. Sometimes you just need to trim away dead wood. Other times, a tree must come down for safety. So how do you know which? Trimming might be enough if dead branches are scattered but the trunk is solid, the tree is healthy but overhanging the roof, or there's crowding between branches. I'm telling you, we have had pear trees in several different properties and several different neighbors' properties, and those branches just want to twist and twine and do all kind of things. So trimming might be enough if there's crowding, or storm damage might have broken smaller limbs and be stuck in there. So that just might need to be trimmed. Pruning does improve air circulation and, most importantly, sunlight penetration. It also keeps trees safe around power lines and houses. Now, removal probably becomes necessary when the trunk is severely cracked, the tree leans more than 15 degrees from vertical and is near anything that it might be in danger of hurting, or more than 50% of the canopy is dead, could really mean that there is a problem. If there's root rot or mushrooms around the base of the tree, or wow, if the tree is hollow. Again, an arborist is trained to know these things. So when in doubt, get an expert opinion. A tree might look majestic, like mine, 2 of my big, beautiful trees. But if it's rotting inside, it could be hazard. So let's talk about the biggest danger of all, cutting down very tall dead trees. Why is it so dangerous? Again, we mentioned it. Dead wood is brittle and might shatter under your saw, sending pieces flying. Dead trees don't fall the way you want them to fall. Limbs might snap off unpredictably, changing the tree's balance mid-fall. Gibson's here. Gibson has been in business forever, and I do talk generational, but they've been doing this for their entire life, since they were like 15 years old, or probably before that. Rigging is very dangerous too. Dead wood doesn't hold ropes well. If you're lowering limbs, they could drop unexpectedly. You also got to look at the trunk collapsing like a tube of paper if there's decay inside. Even professionals sometimes refuse to climb dead trees because they're just too risky. Tall, dead trees near homes are especially urgent. Do not wait. You don't know when the next storm is coming. A falling tree can crush your roof, damage plumbing and electrical lines, injure or kill occupants. How many times have we heard of a tree falling and a branch piercing through that, hitting the floor, or a whole tree trunk hitting a bed with somebody in it? Again, it's very dangerous. Insurance might cover it, but only if the tree was healthy or the fall was storm-related. If you've been warned a tree is dead and dangerous, your insurance might deny the claims if you don't act before this. So, how do professionals cut down tall dead trees? Arborists check for rot, cracks, and cavities. They decide on the equipment, the lifts, the ropes, the cranes, lower branches piece by piece with rigging, and they often do a top-down removal. They often remove limbs first, then chunk down the trunk from the top. Cranes or bucket trucks in urban areas, cranes safely lower giant tree sections. Sometimes if a tree is dangerous to climb, it's felled from the base, but only if there's room to drop it safely. Otherwise, they use a bucket truck. So, okay, enough of the scary stuff. These guys are magnificent. I'm getting chills just watching how huge these pieces are, how small this machine seems to be to pick up these large pieces, because you know those 3 chains they've used to pull them up. 3 of those are mine. And wow, just amazing birth of this wood. So let's talk about some fun tree facts, because like I said, I love trees. Maybe I'm a tree hugger. Yep. You'll see me hugging trees in videos when I get to those very old ones, because the oldest known living tree is the bristlecone pine in California. Over 4,800 years old. And my friends, if you look back in the history of my channel here, you will see me over in Charleston, South Carolina, just outside Charleston, and I am with the beautiful, magnificent old tree there. So, wow, let's trees talk to each other. Did you know this? They talk, I know, not like the movie, but yeah, similar. Where do you think they get science fiction? Trees talk to each other through underground networks of fungi, sharing nutrients and sending chemical signals. Those roots look for water. Those roots look for nutrition. So in essence, they're kind of communicating. A mature leafy tree, dig this, love this, a mature leafy tree produces enough oxygen for 10 people to breathe for a year. So my friends, if you don't have a mature leafy tree in your yard, yeah, maybe it's your duty to go ahead and get one. We love our plants. Get one you can love too. And don't plant it too close to the edge of your property. Don't plant it too close to the road. Don't plant it too close to the house. But get yourself some leafy tree or bushes or shrubbery and help contribute. So, the tallest tree. The tallest tree in the world is a coast redwood named Hyperion, standing about 380 feet tall. And dig this. Did you know one large oak tree can drink up to 100 gallons of water a day? And you ever see trees in the city? Well, trees can lower city temperatures by up to 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Yes, that's true. Think about it. Trees lower city temperatures by up to 10 degrees Fahrenheit. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to your community. Plant a tree. Take care of your trees. Some trees, dig this, some trees can close their leaves at night, like the mimosa tree. Yeah, dig that. We close our eyes at night. They close their leaves at night. Isn't nature amazing? So, I do want you to enjoy the rest of this. We've got about 3.5 minutes. And I do want to let you know, trimming trees keeps them healthy and safe. I don't like to trim too much off of the tree. But truly, if you let the sun in, trimming trees keeps them healthy and safe. Said from the arborist. So cutting down tall trees is extremely dangerous. Leave it to the pros. Hire the pros. Make sure there are the pros. Gibson is a pro. Keep an eye on signs your trees might be struggling. And remember, trees are incredible living things that make our world better in so many ways. And we are still learning. So if you love trees too, like I do, take care of them. And take care of yourself. And thanks for watching. Please hit that subscribe button. And drop me your tree questions in the comments. And tell me about your tree experiences. Have you ever had those widowmakers or those deadfalls come down too close for comfort? And don't forget, please, 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 like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss our next video about all things nature, about all things travel. And we are going to bring these logs up and put them in the upper part of the driveway where they can be cut up for firewood. And then we still have some trees to trim, so don't you go anywhere, because I've got the next 2 minutes talking about bringing those trees down and how that chainsaw is dangling so high up in the air. And we talked about climbing trees. We're climbing trees, y'all. It is amazing, amazing, amazing to watch these men climb trees and do what they do. And only, hey bee, look how wide this is. And this is not the bottom, this is the top of one of the pieces. And here we go, we're up the tree. Again, these guys are professionals. Look at that limb come down. And I never would have guessed these limbs are as big as they are. But sometimes it's crazy to get an understanding of distance when they're so high. And just look at the strength, the weight of that limb. That could really put you down if that would have hit your head and just be sawn out of the tree without realizing where it was going to fall. That's the kind of chainsaw I wish I had. Don't we all want those easy to use, wonderful pieces of equipment that just like, well, we don't have them because they're so expensive and we hardly yet ever use them. And that's why you call an arborist. That's why you call the tree and landscaping people to do this work, to drop those limbs without causing damage. And I was truly blessed to be in nature like I am here. And yes, I hate to cut the trees. I hate to lose the trees. But maybe if trimming a few trees lets my other trees be happier and life more wonderful. And the birds are still happy. So my friends, stay safe, stay green, have a great day.